What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about 5 stocks that you need to add to your watch list going into this upcoming week that are high risk, high reward plays. So I want to go over all the things you need to know, but first make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. On a side note, I actually received quite a few requests to cover a lot of these stocks. So I started to dive deep into some of them and there was a lot of similarity. So I figured this video might be a little bit more advantageous, but getting right to it, stock number 1 is ticker SMX. So I want to start off by saying that a lot of these stocks, you have to be a little bit more of an experienced trader. This isn't for the faint of heart. And I'm going to elaborate on what I mean by that. So ticker is SMX, sitting at $331 and change. Just on Friday alone, it went up 135%. Over the last 1 year, it is down 98.43%, and there is a lot of similarities with that, so just take a mental note of that. But over the last 5 days, it is up 580%. There's been occasional news, nothing crazy of substance. One common thing that's happening in a lot of the cases is what they call PR blitzes, and that is where you put out like insane amounts of news and then algorithmic trading really picks up on that. So there's that attribute that's moving up a lot of these stocks, but nonetheless, this is what they do. It's not really relevant in my opinion, but this is based out of Ireland, electronic equipment, 18 employees and so forth. So again, I think when it comes down to it, a lot of people see a stock move up quite considerably in the short term and just immediately assume that it is shorts. When it comes down to this stock, only 11.4% of the free float's being shorted, works out to be 14,000 shares. And DTC being at 0.02 days, that obviously shorts aren't a big deal at all, in my opinion. So when it comes down to it, it's not shorts. Shorts haven't been doing too much, in my opinion. But one common thing that, for instance, this stock and many others have that's been somewhat building up some momentum is this right here. There is a lot of warrants, and as well, in some of the cases, a lot of convertible notes. So based on some of the convertible notes, and I kind of read through the conversion prices, it actually could cause the stock price to go high. That is when, for instance, a stock has, if you want to call it, bottomed, so it's down 99 something percent. This is where potentially you could see conversions happening, causing the stock price to go high. And at the same time, as I mentioned, if you have algorithmic trading piggybacking off of the potential PR blitzes, as what I like to call them, then this is a perfect storm. You're actually seeing dilution, which is causing abnormal volume. AI is picking up on that and the news and pushing stocks higher. So in general, this is why I mentioned it is not for the faint of heart. You have to be a little bit more of an experienced trader to do these types of plays because you can make money off of this. I have a Patreon, I have a stacked account, and I actually call out many of these types of stocks where you can make money. Even though technically the stock is moving higher through dilution, you still can make a lot of money. Key is that you have to be diligent and know when to exit. Way too many people fall in love with a stock and instantly look at this and say, hey, it's going to go back to this amount. Again, I like to just say it how it is. I'm not here to pump you up. I'm not here to bring you down. I just list out the facts. And in my opinion, based on everything, I don't think it will be going back to these levels. You can still make some very good money off of it, but these are, for instance, some of the reverse stock splits ticker SMX has done just in the short term. So November the 18th, that was the most recent one. October the 23rd, August the 7th, June the 16th, January the 15th. That is simply the ones in 2025. So they are going for a record. So in general, like I said, you can make some very good money with this, but be cautious. And there is actually a lot of similarities between this stock and, for instance, Wheeler, ticker is WHLR, sitting at 641 just on Friday, went up 97% over the last 1 year, down 99.91 over the last 5 days, up 126%. same cut and paste type of thing. So it is not shorts, only 6.46% of the free float is being shorted. So shorts aren't that big of a deal for this. This stock does have a lot of warrants and convertibles at the same time. So again, it does meet the criteria, and I read through some of the terms and conditions of some of these products, and yes, in general, it would cause the stock price to go higher. So you have another very similar scenario to ticker is SMX. In Wheeler's case, this is what they've done for reverse stock splits. So pretty much, yeah, absolute insanity. Most recent one was on December the 1st. Moving on to the next stock is ticker WAI, sitting at 336, went up 32% on Friday. Over the last 1 year, down 98.59%, but over the last 5 days, up 21.3%. So this is, again, becoming a little bit more of a kind of repetitive thing. So hopefully a lot of you are catching on to kind of what I'm feeding you, because in general, you can make some good money off of this. Don't be scared by riding the dilution train, if that makes sense. I'm making up some phrases here, but again, you can make some very good money off of this, but do not fall in love with these stocks. Please, for the love of God, do not fall in love with these stocks. It is not going to go back to where it was at all. And keep in mind, a lot of these stocks have done those types of PR blitzes where they just put out news after news after news. And that means algorithmic trading is going to also be artificially pushing these stocks higher because of that. So yeah, unfortunately, it is what it is. But ticker WAI is another one. Ticker DGLY. So this one is sitting at $1.38 over the last 1 year, down 99.91. Then over the last 5 days, up 17.95. So the biggest difference between these, so this one's only up like 17-20%, give or take. And then you have kind of on the higher spectrum, ticker is SMX. The difference between the two is influencers. You have a lot of influencers pumping stocks, and I like to consider myself a honest individual. Again, I'm not here, I don't really care. I have my own full-time job. I don't care about trying to get subscribers or anything. I just lay out the honest facts. A lot of people will not tell you that it is dilution going higher. A lot of influencers will say, hey, you know what, this is an epic short squeeze. You need to get in now before it goes to the moon. That's what people will tell you, because that gets views. That is simple. I know it kind of sounds bad, but that's what gets views. Simple as day. But again, you can still make some money off of these. Just be very, very cautious. Everyone has their motives. So ticker DGLY is another one to add. This one has a lot of as well convertibles. So this is warrants right here. Right under here, tons of warrants in fact, but as well a lot of convertibles. In this case, they have done for reverse stock splits, not to the same magnitude as the other ones, but still a lot more than I feel what people would normally be comfortable with. And this one's only 5.61% of the free float's being shorted. So shorts, again, not being that big of a deal. And last stock I do feel that you need to add to your watch list that you can make some good money on this upcoming week is ticker is MBRX, sitting at 724. Over the last 1 year, down 88.42%. Over the last 5 days, though, up 17.72. So it is, again, starting to build up some good momentum. A lot of offerings, a lot of warrants, and at the money equity line, so a lot of dilution happening behind the scenes. 10.63% of the free float's being shorted, works to be 211.5 thousand shares overall being shorted. So no matter what, make sure you guys do your own due diligence when it comes down to these. If you feel that it is going to go back to kind of the all-time highs, so for instance SMX, this is I think the more popular one out of all of them. If you feel it's going to go back down to or higher to where it was back in 2024 or potentially even further out, then I'm not here to burst your bubble. If you want that, definitely I wish the best, and I really do hope it goes there, and I hope everyone becomes billionaires. But realistically, I think a lot of these, just based on the market cap, only have like a quarter, possibly 6 months left at best. So in my opinion, this is kind of the last dilution event that a lot of these stocks might have. So you have a brief window to make some good money, but again, do your own due diligence. And then one final thing, if you are looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, including riding the dilution wave, pop over to my Patreon. I put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades, worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.